Hello YouTube. Last time I made a video of my video game room. I didn't have a very good camera, and it was kind of my first time doing a video on YouTube, so I figured I'd go ahead and give a better view of the game room. And it's changed a little bit since the last video, but not a whole lot. Here's the wall of consoles. These are all extra consoles that we have. I just kind of hang them up. And here I have some of the semi-rare ones, the Panasonic Q. I got the Amiga CD32. Philips CDI isn't very rare, but it's a weird one. We have a gold Super Nintendo there next to a Pong machine. Down at the bottom we have a Xbox and GameCube. Those are definitely not rare. Sega Genesis Model 3, the Black Sports Edition of the Dreamcast, Sega Genesis with a CD. Over here we just got some boxes. All the ones we got hanging up: 3DO, Atari 2600 Pro, Atari Jaguar, Atari 2600, Nintendo. Everybody knows Nintendo. Famicom in the corner. PlayStation 2, PS1, Dreamcast, Saturn, a couple Game Boys and Game Boy Advance, cool World of Nintendo sign. Over here we have a bunch of Guitar Hero and Rock Band stuff for all sorts of consoles, PlayStation 3, PlayStation 2, Xbox 360. Some stuff that we have to send to a friend of ours. More Ataris. The 5200 and 7800. On top of the TV here we got a, what is that thing? The Hyperscan. That's barely a console. Angie's collection of Pokemon, guys. A Yobo NES. Super Video Arcade that was basically an Intellivision. A PS1. Over here we got a bunch of Dreamcast games and controllers, Master System games, Game Gear games, bunch of boxes everywhere. Here's our NES collection, and a couple of Famicom games up at the top. We only have 3 Famicom games. We got 100 Super Famicom games coming, but don't have those added to the collection yet. Some boxed ones, Super Nintendo and 64. There's all our Super Nintendo games down there, and 64 games down along the bottom. Over here we have a bunch of consoles. All these consoles around here are hooked up to that TV. Just like back over here, all those consoles right over there are hooked up to that TV. Oh, we got Famicom, the top loader Famicom, Atari Jaguar, Xbox, GameCube, second model Super Nintendo, Intellivision, the top loading NES, and N64 above that. It's a JVC Xi that plays Genesis and Sega CD games. Down there's the Atari 2600. Way down at the bottom, kind of hard to see, the TurboGrafx 16. Keep it down there because, you know, the cord, it's such a short cord on that controller that you really need it on the ground so you can kind of pull it out and play it. Right here is the PlayStation and PlayStation 2 Model 1s of both. Here's my Metal Gear games. Big fan of Metal Gear. Halo, also a very cool game. Gears of War. We got a lot of posters and things on the wall. I kind of like that Resident Evil 4 mask. Posters, posters, posters everywhere. Some from magazines, some from games. And I don't know if you noticed, but the light on this camera keeps going on and off, so this is my first time using it. But over here, Sega Genesis games, and we have quite a few. A lot of sports games too in the boxes. Not all sports, but a lot of sports. They're so easy to get these days. Over here we got handhelds. That guy down at the bottom plays NES games. And we have Game Boy Advance, Game Boy Advance SP. That little guy laying down. Game Boy Micro. There's one of the Game & Watch Super Mario Brothers. Bunch of DS games. More Game Boys, Game Boy Color games. Game Boy games, Virtual Boy, and we only have 2 games for that. And a bunch of console boxes and Pokemon boxes. Angie loves Pokemon. Over here, a couple PSPs, a bunch of PSP games, a lot of Monster Hunter in there. PSP models 100 or 1000 and 2000. Need a 3000 and a Go yet. Atari Lynx, the second model. A couple Game Gears. Down there are like Leapster and Didge and stuff like that. And down at the bottom we have a Neo Geo Pocket, a Gamecom, and a WonderSwan. Okay, spin around the room here. I like that, it's pretty cool. Grand Theft Auto Liberty City Stories standee. Got a neat gaming chair over here. And that is plugged into this TV. Well, it's a computer monitor. We have a little adapter down at the bottom. But here on the left are some CDI games. Amiga CD32, Hyperscan. We got 2 Saturns side by side, a Japanese Saturn on the left and US one on the right. Another Sports Edition Dreamcast on the bottom. And there's that VGA converter. Over here we got a brand new Master System, never used. Neo Geo AES. Just some little plug-and-play Genesis next to it. A 3DO. Down at the bottom are the AES controllers. Over here, PlayStation 3 sign, PlayStation 3 games, PlayStation 2 games. Let me zoom out so you guys can see how many we got. Xbox games. Those are Sega CD and Sega Saturn games, a bunch of those. Over here, controllers and things, Wii games, GameCube, we don't have many of those. We don't really play either one too often. Xbox 360 games, we got a decent number of those. PlayStation 1 games down at the bottom, some with the old cases. Over here, 3DO and 32X, just some computer games on that shelf. AES games and television games, ColecoVision games, Atari games, 33 5200 games, only one 7800 game. Then there are 2600 games there. Cool Guild Wars standee. Whole bunch of steering wheels. Here's where we keep all our extra consoles that we got. We have a ton. And a couple bum old computers that I mess around with sometimes. Jaguar box up at the top. Over here we got a bunch of little handhelds. Strategy guides all the way on the bottom and right here. Then on this TV, you got another TV. We have a ColecoVision, a Master System, and a Magnavox Odyssey 2. And that's it for our game room. In our living room, we have a PSX, PlayStation 3, an Xbox 360, and a Wii. And I'll show you that, guys, in a little bit. Okay, now we're in the living room. You can see our cool custom PlayStation 3, our PSX. That's pretty cool. It's like a DVR and a TV box and a PlayStation 1 and 2 all rolled into one. There's our 360 with the cool Gears of War front to it, faceplate. And there's our Nintendo Wii. They all plug out into this TV here. Alright, so that's it for our video games and game room. Hope you enjoyed.